Kelly. We're going to go through a couple. I love it. I love it. Darryl comes to one meeting a year, usually the one he's the speaker. I'm just teasing. They're busy. So let's just talk about what's going on this week. Kylie, you are teaching Lending 101 for CE credit on Wednesday.
I got that. Yeah, so it's a little higher than 101, probably like 102, 103. We'll go over all the basics and then answer any of those like questions that you guys have. Bring your, weird scenarios and your questions on, and we'll just kind of make it conversation.
Love it. Great. And Coach by Fidelity title, lunch will be provided. Register for your CE certificate and for lunch count. And then on Thursday, Joe is teaching contract mastery. That's going to be the universal pose now, right? You see his pose. It's the Kevin pose. So that is for anyone who has closed less than 3 transactions. You should be there, right? And even if you've closed more than that, but you want to just get more comfortable going through the sales agreement and the contracts and the addendums.
Yeah, it's, these are kind of kooky times in real estate, and I see kooky things in real estate agreements. So let's dissect kookiness on Thursday. And I will try to maintain that pose for 2.5 hours.
I love it. And it is, 10 to 12 on Thursday. And there's no sign up. You just show up in this room. Peter, Nat, come on in. You guys, everyone is afraid of the front. Okay. We have next week complimentary headshots. We're going to try to do this once a month from Austin from Highmark Photography. So if you need a new headshot, he'll do a couple poses. It's going to be between 1 and 3, and you just sign up for a 10-minute slot, just like last time. So we want to help keep you guys looking fresh in your, social media and your marketing. So sign up for that. And if you sign up and you can no longer make it, make sure you remove your spot because the spots are limited. And then our agent happy hour, once a quarter, Julie, put on by Julie and Felicity of our ALC Culture Committee. Tell us about agent happy hour this quarter.
Yeah, we always have such a great time, and it's a bring a friend or bring a buddy this time. They don't have to be in this office, and it's always going to be anyone. So we end up taking up probably that whole outdoor space up by Boys. So it'll be fun.
It'll be a good outside one. Yeah, we're just thinking how do we engage more of our agents, friends of the brokerages, anything. Bring a buddy.
Yeah.
It'll be anyone.
And it's really the camaraderie fellowship between your too, and just having some great conversations.
I think that's a great one because there's no agenda. Just hanging out. Yeah. Okay. And then haves and wants. Linda has added a few halves, a Hillsborough investment property with 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, a 4-bedroom plus den coming in August in Westridge, and an arbor home in South Cooper Mountain. And that is, I don't know if it's coming soon or available now. So if you have any buyers for those, connect with Linda. Matthew Ray has a 2-story, 4-bed, 2-bath detached home in Orenco. So if you have a good match for that. And then Christopher Leal has a Happy Valley fixer. So if you have somebody looking for a fixer, it's only $250. So that could be a good investment property. And then Katie Alstead looking for 3-bedroom, 2-bath with at least 2,000 square footage. In LO, Westland, or anywhere Washington County for under 1.5. So if you have a match for that, let us know. And then LaJoy, not to call you out right as you walked in, but welcome to LaJoy. Just joined us yesterday. So we're happy you're here. Let's hear from
Wait,
home.
Oh, yeah. So is Chris here? He has the $250,000 3-bedroom, 3 full bathroom condo.
Apparently. That's a fixer, yeah.
Fixer.
And I believe this thing appraised at like 275.
That's
according
all.
to Chris. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Darryl's going to sell this. Darryl will sell this by 6 o'clock tonight.
Oh my gosh. I love it. And again, just a reminder to keep submitting your haves and wants. We Cole's pulling them every week, especially if you have things that are coming soon or something off market or clients that you're just having trouble finding that perfect match. We love to help you guys find those matches.
By the way, I saw the building that this is,
Mhm.
and it's a good look. It's a decent building. It's a 70s looking complex, and it's decent looking, but 3 bedroom for 250. It's now 229.
Wow. Just did a price drop live. Just kidding. Even better. Awesome.
And look at that. You say 229 and there it appears.
Wow. I know.
Cool.
Cole's so good. We survived without Cole. Welcome back, Cole. Cole was in Scotland for the last 2 weeks. We survived. We ran the tech. We learned, we helped lots of you guys with Lone Wolf. We have a lot of appreciation for Cole now that he's back.
And did you discover your Scottish roots? Your bloodline? Okay, just check.
Oh my gosh. Hi, from the home front, tell us what's going on with rates and lending.
Hello, everybody. Sorry. Oh, alrighty. So, rates have been kind of higher recently due to all the things going on in Iran. We started to see a little bit of betterment on Friday, and unfortunately, on Monday they are back up. This is a response to a weakness in the bond market, mostly, going towards fuel prices and all the things that are happening over there. So, it's 7.
I see a
That one was the same as last week. Just so you know.
Okay.
It was last week.
Oh,
That's great. That one didn't change. Your 2-point buy down though is worth a little bit less. It was about 6.375 with 2 points and a buy down. So it's not as great to purchase down at this point with points. The FHA 30-year is about flat, and then same thing, the 2-point cost is a little bit more expensive. So with 2 points last week, you were getting about 5.375. Now it's only worth 5.625. So your pars are about the same week over week, and it's not much we can do about it. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So FHA is not just first time home buyers, just so you guys know. People can have multiple FHA loans, especially if they're upsizing or downsizing for specific reasons. They are allowed to have multiple FHA loans, and you don't have to be a first time home buyer. Yeah. Oh, and the other thing, so we are able to offer 1.0 buy downs for 25 basis points right now. So if you guys have any listings or buyers, 1.0 buy downs are 25 basis points. So for example, if you have a loan amount that's $500,000, the cost for that 1.0 buy down is only $1,250. So it's a really, really effective way for your sellers to advertise a 1.0 buy down to potential buyers. And it's also, you could probably get that in a seller concession for your actual buyers. So
And a 1.0 buy
That's
down
great.
was-
yeah.
What's 1.0 buy down do?
It's 1.0 buy down buys down your interest rate by 1% for the first year. So let's say you get your par interest rate of 6.125 on an FHA. We give you a 1.0 buy down. Your interest rate for the first year is going to be 5.125.
Yes, that's great to know and have you run some scenarios and for sellers to be able to offer something that sounds more valuable than it even is.
It totally is. Yeah, it's a really, really cheap, effective way for your sellers to offer something to a potential buyer. We do actually have a flyer for open houses. So if you guys have any open houses this weekend and your seller is wanting to offer that, just send me the address and we'll fill in the numbers for you and give you a nice PDF printable that you can have at your open houses.
Yeah.
It feels like more than ever, rate volatility is tied to the media more than it is to anything else. Do you feel like that's true?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think that the rates are definitely following the headlines versus actually following true financial data, unfortunately.
Mhm.
A lot of things are driven by fear as well and the uncertainty, and we just have to bear the effects of that. So
The more certain you guys are and in your ability to have a good lender that you're working with to figure out different scenarios. Yeah.
we'll figure out how to use the money in the best way possible. So let us know if you
Awesome.
need help.
Thanks, Kelly. And then as our segue into Darryl and Kelly, Realtor Day for Street of Dreams is August 4th. It is a
Day. So it is free, but you must register. So it's 11 to 7. So what we're thinking that day is instead of having our meeting, like our traditional meeting, we'll still meet here. Maybe we'll have some breakfast, pastries, and then carpool over there. and go together and just it's the main hub is all one spot in Oregon City, so we don't need the bus to caravan around. We'll go see, not to be a spoiler for Darryl's, but 3 of the 7 at the main location are our very own like teams listings, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, so we want to make it's exciting. That's the only day that it's free to attend as a realtor. If you're not a realtor, like if you're an admin or something, you can still go that day. You just have to pay. And the link is live to register. So hopefully you guys all register for that. And then more details coming soon about our carpool breakfast plan here. So without further ado, Darryl, Kelly, come on up here. We're so happy you're here. Here, have a seat. Oh, yeah, wait. And we have some friends on Zoom, so the camera's right above Peter's head. But tell everyone just a little bit about yourself, your team, just a little background.
Well, I'm Darryl Bodle, and I've been doing this 26 years now. And I started in 2000 and kind of came off the late 90s crash and worked in down payment assistance and a lot of FHA stuff until the market picked up, and that was great. And then the market crashed again. And obviously, this is kind of our second cycle since I started of down market, or one that's a little tougher than what we're used to or what we like. But it's still an adventure. So nonetheless, we've got a big year this year with Street of Dreams. Yes. And this will be our 3rd year hosting at the Street of Dreams. It's the 50th year anniversary for the street, which is kind of exciting too. Yeah. So it's a big one. They're really the HBA is going all out on, just trying to make it a really special event this year. There are 7 homes in the Ceres Farms subdivision in Oregon City, and all of them are looking really nice. Awesome. I will say that ours are really nice also. And so there are 7 sites up there. We're hosting 3 of the sites out of the 7. Plus we have a one house on tour that's here in Lake Oswego. So even if you're not doing a bus, I still encourage you guys to hit the Lake Oswego location as well. It's up on Oak Terrace off of South Shore, and that'll be a good one too. All the houses are priced between 2.35 and 2.5 mil. And it's a good opportunity for it's neat because we're at the forefront of it, but it's really neat because it's also our office, right? And this is KW. And, the office team has been really great about also supporting it. And it's a really neat opportunity, even for you guys, to be able to pump that this is your office, and that if you've got buyers, we're not technically allowed to market in the MLS during the show, but it's a neat opportunity because you'll all see it on Realtor Day. And if you do have clients that are interested, we can get you guys free guest passes so that you can still bring them out during the show to see the places. And, hopefully it's an opportunity to connect on 2 sides with other agents in our office. I know that's something we pride ourselves on all year long, is trying to co-op as much as we can with other agents in the office. And we always lean that way to keep it in the family as much as we can. So if there is any opportunity that you guys have buyers, don't hesitate to ask for passes for them so they can get in free of charge.
I love that. We do have the video too. Should we start?
Yeah,
the video? Let's play the video.
Let it rip, Cole.
Dramatic music. I love it. It's so great. Oh wait, can we share that? Can I share that? Oh, no. Okay, cool.
Yep. And so it's exciting. The first 3 houses you saw on there are the hub feature site in Oregon City. And then the last one you saw are the 2 side-by-sides in Laco. So again, love to have everybody come out. Always appreciate the support. I know last year a lot of you came out to support us, and it is always appreciated.
Yeah, it's cool to see. And so, so last year it was on tour, so they were all over. And then this year they're back to one Main Street, but they're still doing the on tour component. So there's a handful of other houses all over
Yep.
that are the on tour. So, and yeah, 50th anniversary, that's a big one. So you can't like promote the individual houses yet, right? But we can show them, or how does, what's the rule?
We can,
Okay.
technically, we're not supposed to share addresses.
Okay.
To spoil the.
Okay. I told Darryl, I was like, we will not break any rules. We will not share what we're not supposed to.
But of course, you know, for you guys, you can show them, you can sell them, whatever, you know, anytime. They're wrapping up this week. It's been a hard push for the last year. And some of these houses are literally being staged like the day of Realtor Day. So it's like we're down to the wire with a lot of them getting done.
Yeah, why is that always because it's just the whole process is so rushed?
Yeah, sometimes they don't pick the location for
Oh.
the feature site until too late. Sometimes even if you know in advance, you run into permitting issues for construction. And then you just come right down to the tail end. And, you know, I mean, construction is a hairy thing sometimes, just trying to keep people on schedule. And
It is.
Oh, totally.
Like,
Well, so one year, like I remember somebody was like screwing on the like the electrical outlet covers and everything, like as we're coming in, right? The last details. So it's always down to the wire.
We didn't get finished lots until February, I think,
Yeah.
for them. So, you know.
Yeah, so you couldn't even get a permit pulled until, you know, for end of the first quarter this year. But the first house to finish is the Sky View. Is that what it is?
The Summit.
The Summit.
Wait, Kelly, introduce yourself too.
I'm Kelly. I'm with Darryl's team for 7 years, and that's all I do. Just do a little bit of everything.
So the Summit is first one done. It's wrapping up today and being staged. So you'll see more media if you follow our Instagram page. You'll see more of that one coming up this week. But it is the first one finished. We still have 3 more that are not quite ready.
Just about. And then if you scan that, it takes you what to like just see more about.
We have some landing pages on our website for each of the homes, just kind of talking about their features, their amenities, the specs. And so if anybody does want more information on those, each house does have its own screen. So you can scan that QR code. It goes to the website, a lot more information.
And this one's about 4,200 square feet, and it's like a modern lodge. So you have wood running through from that vault all the way through the covered eaves on both sides, which is really cool. The lower level has like a sauna spa experience. So there's a cold plunge that's pre-plumbed and a sauna, all that kind of good stuff. So
Exercise room.
yeah, exercise room. Really cool.
But that main living space where you see the front porch on the front, that's all exposed tongue and groove that you see up in the soffits, but that just literally runs all the way out the back with a huge covered deck, and it's a very beautiful Scandinavian style
lodge.
Lodge like feel for the home.
Cool.
Gonna be that's probably one.
Oh, but the views.
I like that. I don't like it when like, you know, they all have that same sterile look. I like it now that you guys do a lot of cool, unique design elements.
The designers have been really good at trying to come up with some unique features and some different stuff. It gets hard out there because there's already so many neat, you know, features in homes that coming up with something creative every year can get challenging.
And I think it's also more than just the homes. Obviously, they're gorgeous and they all have different kind of features and amenities. It's also the site. So it's Sears Farms. They've been around since 1902. And she sold off a piece. She's still an operating farm, but she was at the meeting last time and talked a little bit more about her farm. But they sold off the piece, so we're kind of on the hilltop. So you have some of the houses have like 280-degree views. You can see downtown Portland, some of the bridges, some of like the skyscrapers, which is really cool from pretty much all of them.
Cool.
Yeah, great views. The sunset and the city light views and the bridges would be really cool. So if anybody does make it out in the evening, you might have a special treat. Whereas during the day, you won't see it as much.
Okay. So that's the Summit. Okay. Skywalker.
Skywalker has a gym detached in the back with a cellar underground, which is pretty cool. It also has a sky bridge that goes across from the main house to a secondary suite that has all the views of downtown Portland. So I mean,
That's
if it were
cool.
my house, that'd probably be an office, but it is a secondary suite in that house. That's kind of cool. It's very detached and has kind of a bridge that extends across the expansive ceiling height.
Pretty cool.
And this guy has some pretty phenomenal views as well. A pretty cool front door feature that you'll see when you get there. It's all custom wrought iron. And all those views from the left side windows that you see in that rendering just look all the way out at the mountain range. And so the sunset's going to be like 180 degrees for that house.
And this one's a corner lot, so you get a lot more views from it.
That one's pretty. What's the square footage on that one?
That one is, I think, our biggest at 4,596. 4 bed, 5.5 bath. So they all range in that lower end of 4,000 square feet.
Cool.
Yeah. And just a really neat community overall. Neat location in Oregon City, right by the elementary school, and then adjoining that open farmland that's still functioning, which is kind of nice.
I love that. Yeah.
Do you get to pick the lots or they?
This year
Where's the options?
we did, yeah.
Okay.
So there was one subdivision that was selected for the site, and then the developer released, a certain number of lots. And then there was a kind of a lottery of approved builders getting to choose which lots they got.
Okay.
And these are all kind of centered around each other on 4. So the lower houses that aren't ours that we're representing, those have height restrictions. So a lot of those are like single level. So these can still capture those views. So they were definitely selective. I think we've got 3 out of the 4 best lots. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, cool. And then tell us about the Lake Oswego one.
These were the on tour houses. There's 2 houses actually side by side. One of them is in the show. These are the 2 off the South Shore. They're on Oak Terrace. They've been named Lake Terrace for the show. And it's a really cool community with lake easements. And just for Lake Oswego, not always easy to find affordable. I say affordable, but they're $2.5 million, but they are new construction. They're built by Acre Development, who has been one of the builders in prior years with us for the on tour and the affordable luxury line. And so kind of neat to see them do a full scale home this year.
No, that's great because sometimes when they're like, I mean, sure, the 10,000 square foot houses are cool to see, but those you're a lot less likely to have
livable.
actual clients for those, right?
Yeah.
They're so unique, like such a specific buyer.
Yeah.
So these ones are actually like more reasonable
Yeah.
to be sold, right?
Absolutely.
So if anybody has clients looking for side-by-side houses,
Oh,
they go,
yeah.
that option too.
Yeah, hard to find compound living. So that is a nice feature. 2 side by side, and then 3 side by side up in Oregon City, if you have that type of buyer looking.
And these are just around 3,300 square feet.
that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about, so these, you work with, on these, there's 3 different builders, right? So how does it all, like, just for those that don't really know about the Street Dreams, like, how does it all come to be? And like, how do you choose what you're going to build and how involved are you in the design? And
Yeah, we're pretty active with our clients and our builders as far as just, making sure that things run seamlessly. We've been part of the HBA for a long time and part of the Street of Dreams committee there. And so it's been kind of a nice experience being able to bring some of our clients into that, that setting and incorporate them into the show. I know we've got several more that want to be in it next year. And so we might have to recruit some help if anybody next year wants to help with hosting any of the sites. But if we get too many more, we'll be stretched too thin.
Yeah, they anticipate 500 people on the Thursdays and Fridays, and about 1,000 people a day on the weekends through the hub site.
oh my
So,
gosh. Yeah. So you guys you're working open houses every Thursday, Friday,
Thursday.
Saturday, Sunday for the next month.
Yep. Plus Realtor Day and
There's
they
some
have
other
other
bonus
VIP
days. Yeah.
events.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be full-time open house schedule for the next 4 weeks.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, well, I can keep asking you questions, but I want to open it up. Does anyone have any questions for Darryl or Kelly? Otherwise, I'll keep going.
But who's going to come to the street on Realtor Day?
Hopefully
Yeah.
everyone, right?
Good.
Thanks, guys.
I'm coming to, Veronica and I are going to the block party. Is anyone else going to the block party? we'll see you guys there.
Yeah.
They said we won't get to party. We'll be working the houses, but we'll come see you.
Thank you.
I love seeing these houses. I can't wait to see the insides of yours. How did you first get involved with the HBA and how did you know? Tell us more about
One of our clients was the president of the Oregon Home Builders Association and was very active in the HBA here locally. And he said, "Hey, it would really help me out if you were part of this." And so I joined on his request and ended up starting by doing the HBA Charity House initially. The HBA Charity House is a house that everybody basically pitches in their skill set to sell a house, to build and sell a house, and all the proceeds or profits goes back into the HBA Foundation to help charitable, causes throughout the year. So that was kind of how it started, and ever since then, they've just harassed me to do a little more and a little more, and then eventually we were invited to participate with Street of Dreams, and I brought in one builder, and then he said, "Oh, but I want to do it too," and then next thing you know, we had 3 and now 4 and 5 probably for next year. So we'll see how that goes. But it's been a fun journey and good experience.
How did you, without giving away all your secrets, like build the relationships with the builders and get into this entire type of business?
Yeah, I just think it's valuable as a realtor, and you guys all know this. I don't think I'm saying anything that anybody here doesn't know, but just hard work and consistency, and whatever you specialize in or whatever realm you want to be in with your clients, it's just a matter of knowing that really well and being able to dig in deeper than just a normal broker would, because being a broker is great. Like, you can have a license and you can be a broker, but what makes you different and what makes you special to people in each sector of that market is really what makes the difference between being and actually succeeding, in my opinion. So I think that that's probably the biggest thing is, it was 15, 20 years ago that I started getting into more of the development stuff and the building codes and the different things. And part of the value for me is understanding the depth of the code and the code book and all the rules as they change, and knowing what can go where and how many, because that's a value to builders. It's also a value to a lot of people in any respect, just knowing what your specialty is. So even if it's just a residential seller, but they're in a certain neighborhood, knowing those schools are critical. If they're just a residential seller in the city of Portland, knowing the neighborhoods and what pocket and where the best coffee shop is. I mean, these are all highly valuable things that might seem superficial, but they're actually extremely important to your client for them to hear that their home, their neighborhood, their needs. And sometimes like for us, we try to push that envelope really far so that we can move past just certain things, but try to cover a lot more for our clients. But that's truly the trick, in my opinion,
Actually
to
being
success in this
knowledgeable.
business.
Yeah. While we have you, and raise your hand if you have any questions about Street of Dreams or just other things. But I want to just talk about your team. So how many people are on your team, and kind of what does your structure look like?
There's 9 of us, and we just have a very good team chemistry, and we really try to treat it almost like a sports team, where everybody is looking out for each other, and it's just as good to have an assist as it is to have the score. Some of our team has been with me as long as 25 years. One of my first hires is still with us. But a lot of people, it's kind of like, if you're in, we want you forever, and we build that camaraderie and that teamwork and chemistry, and it really makes us be able to, in my opinion, perform very efficiently at a high level. There's only 9 of us, and we've sold 512 transactions last year, and for 9 people, that's head spinning at some.
Yeah, right.
I
That's
mean,
impressive.
you look at every deal that comes through, and so
Yeah.
if you sell 517, you probably worked on more like 1,500, and so
Right.
and then you're also trying to build the pipeline for the next year and everything else. So there's just a lot that goes on and goes into it, and if you can't be available every day for people, or you can't be there and be available for your team, and have that team efficiency and chemistry, it
Yeah.
could have not worked very easily.
Oh, Kev.
About some systems that you guys have in place that
We're
or apparently Kelly doesn't believe you have any systems. Any systems that you have in place?
it's been surprising at times for people to realize that a lot of it's in my head,
In my head.
and Kelly's head, and just like it's takes a certain type, I think, to be able to really monitor all those details at all times. But there's also a price to be paid with the amount that we work to keep up. But as far as systems go,
We use
we've
Google Sheets.
started implementing.
Yeah, we use Google Sheets.
Yeah, we've started implementing some cloud-based stuff that updates in real time, but there's no secret. One thing that I learned going through the '08 crash was, in order to survive, you have to have low overhead. So I'm always very conscious of, if you don't need something, don't buy it. I don't think you need expensive CRMs, and I don't think you need expensive classes and expensive whatever. I think you can efficiently run a high scale business in this industry very affordably. And we all know that we get paid on commission, and we only get paid when something closes, and that's difficult in months where you don't have something. So managing your overhead costs and keeping things in house, like, we used to hire graphic designers or signpost installation companies, or we used to, we would hire all kinds of stuff out before we realized, the market shifted, and then we had to chase it all the way down, realizing month by month that maybe we should do that ourselves instead of paying some kind of a subcontractor. So these days, we do all of our own lock boxes, all of our own signpost installation, all of our own graphic design. We own everything that we use for any job, and we don't really have to outsource anything. So in doing so, it does keep that monthly overhead low, so that, when times are good, we can make it and hopefully save. And when times are bad, we don't have to, sink with the ship.
I think that's really important to stay consistency throughout the upturns. I always joke with Dwight that he's always talking about the impending recession. But I think because once you've lived through multiple downturns, you always have to be conscientious of that, right? Because you guys are successful continuously year after year after year.
Knock on wood.
Oh my gosh.
We've tried to stay consistent, and it doesn't mean we've always been that successful or consistent, and it doesn't mean we always will be. It just means today's another day, and we get up again, and we get back on the phone, and we start trying just as hard as we did whether we had 10 or none. And that's just the mentality of this business that we all have. We're all kind of crazy, frankly, for doing it this way, but for those of us that have that ambition and that knack to be a self-starter and not worry about it, but get up and do it again, is extremely commendable, in my opinion, because it can be scary at times. So, everybody in here, I think, is a little bit crazy, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. One thing about your team that is specific to, I think, maybe why you're successful is your team each person has their roles, right? You don't have everybody doing everything, right?
Everybody can do just about everything, but it's hard. Like, you can put a help wanted ad out and say, I want this, and you can hire somebody thinking that that's what they're going to do, but you never really know what someone's skill set is until you get to work with them. And a lot of people may not even know what their skill set is. They might think it's one thing, and you find that it's another. So something that's really nice about what we've built and as far as our chemistry goes, is a lot of people can do different things, but we've found people thinking they were going to do one thing that ended up being really special at something else. And so it has rounded out pretty well, but being a small team, it would be impossible for people to just do one thing because there's always a reason somebody can't be somewhere. And if you're stuck in certain roles, I mean, being a realtor is like a wardrobe change 10 times a day, wearing 10 different hats. So, you have to be able to do everything, but also you can be really good at something else. But that's a trick. It's like people always say, oh, well, I want the best at this or I want the best at that. And it's really hard to, even if you're really good at a lot of things, it's hard to say, oh yeah, I'm the best at everything, because nobody's the best at everything. And that's why we all need help as we go through this industry.
Mm-hmm. Laura.
Do work. You do as a team.
We don't. We sit in a little room, probably half this size, every day together. And part of, that chemistry comes from literally everybody comes in, we sit there together, and I call it the pressure cooker, because we show up in the morning and we go, and we do have a lot of fun and a lot of laughs. But we also crank out a lot of stuff. But, no real meetings. We're just there meeting together every day.
But you are together, which I think is pretty important, because I think sometimes in this whole, like, everyone wants to work from home mentality, there's so much value of being together, at least some, if not all of the time.
Yeah, just being around it. And, each day is different, right? Like this business, we don't know. We show up and you answer the phone and you try to cater to what it is that is happening at that moment. And we don't always know. Like, we can try to plan that, but, you show up, you spin the wheel, and you figure out what you're going to do. And so, as far as meetings go, there's like a few minutes each morning where I'm like, hey guys, we got to do this today. And then everybody just jumps to action.
Cool. Nikki, did you have a question?
To meet every day during the week, like for office hours.
Yeah,
we out of the day.
We try to sit in the office Monday to Friday, about probably 10 to 6 is like normal in office. And then of course we still are on call weekends, and if it's a busy day, you work later or you start early, and it kind of changes day to day, but you just do what you know. We always say there's a quitting point, not a quitting time. So, as a realtor or your own self-employed contractor, if you quit before it's done that needs to be done, you pay the price for that, or you carry the stress of that not being done with you. So I always just say, what you got to do, you can quit when it's all finished that day, whether that's 4 o'clock or 9 o'clock. But, we pay our dues in different ways.
Yeah, Joe.
You guys it was very exceptional at creating your own inventory, finding land. What if I have land? What's that process if I want, and I don't know any developers? What do I do?
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, we're always happy.
And even if it's not that it's like ready to be sold yet, it could be a fixer, it could be development, whatever you've stumbled into. I'm happy to talk about it. Obviously we'd love to sell it if we can. But a lot of times it's like a quick 4 or 5 minute conversation can help figure out how to evaluate it so that you know how to speak with your client better without overshooting or guessing. And I've done that with a lot of people in our office over the years, and it's easy and it's quick, and you never have to worry. That's the beauty of it is, I'm not here to take anybody's business. So it's like, that's hard to say in real estate, because I learned that lesson quickly when I was new, that the person you think is helping you really is trying to take what you've got. And so it is kind of a tough business in that respect, but having someone who it's like, we're already busy, we'd love to co-op, we try, but if you need, a trustworthy resource, we're happy to be that for anybody in here.
A year or so ago, and I had a lot and I didn't know what to do with it, and I was like, oh, I was gonna give it to you as a referral, and I said, do you want this? And he said, well, how about I just help you and instead of take it, and I thought that was really good.
Oh,
Nice.
nice. I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for doing that.
So
I think that's one. And you know how many people ask, Jared from other book club, oh, can I have coffee with you? Can I pick your brain? I probably tons of people.
yeah, I get that quite a bit, but we don't really get out of the office.
Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time for that just because I want to have a life outside of work. So I just kind of try to stay to my desk and keep to myself and put my head down and work. But
How do you sell over 500 homes when everyone's in the office? Like,
So we do
once in a while, but a lot of but a lot of stuff is production. So like we have when I started, it was a lot of residential resale. So we have like this repeat customer base of regular residential stuff, which fortunately Mike has been with me 25 years now. So he's been part of a lot of that. So when we get a lot of that business by referral, he's able to service a lot of that. And that leaves me available to service a lot of our builder developer clients, which a lot of that is done from my desk. And then of course we have people who are in the city helping with listing setups and sign setups who are also our licensed sales team. So if I need something in the field, they meet with buyers or, you know, they're kind of eyes and ears for me since I can't get out. I usually miss like 3 calls every 1 call that I'm on. So if I go out into the field, you know, and I'm gone for 2 hours, it just leaves me kind of a mess when I get back. So I try not to leave if I can help it.
the higher on the team.
just I guess
We try to keep it small just because I don't really like management all that much. Hence being here at KW because I really appreciate all of the management team here and the staff and having the beautiful office and all the support. Because I just like to sell. I just like to have a good time selling and working the phones and talking to people. And that's kind of, maybe why I'm happy to, have the grueling schedule of doing it so much every day. But I do enjoy it. So as far as how we hire, it's kind of like when there's an absolute need that we're stretched so thin, we determine what that looks like. But we do try to keep it, close because as I mentioned, the industry is, kind of crazy. So it's hard to bring people in my opinion, that you can't trust 100%. So we are just very selective in regards to trying to have fewer people, less management, more
Jack of all trades.
production. Yeah.
What do you think you do to treat your team that makes them so loyal to you and so many of your team stick with you for so many years?
I am not a self first person. Naturally, I don't think. I've always been one that kind of looks out for others and right down to like your note. I'd rather see people succeed. I'd rather work with people. I'd rather, I'll be the first one to turn around to everybody on our team and say, hey, this is important for this person. We're not going to charge them on this because it's something important and everybody supports me. So I think, you can't chase the dollar. Ultimately, you have to do what's right and then the dollar follows.
I like that. What do you guys do then, like for lead generation, or do you still to build your pipeline, or does it kind of?
We do. So a lot of lead gen comes from. I mean, right now there's not a lot of time to lead generate. So I've always been told that I've been good at kind of riding the wave and seeing where the market's going and coming up with that next thing that will be in trend. Unfortunately, fortunately, but unfortunately, we've been so busy the last 3 or 4 years, I'd say, since COVID hit, that it's really hard to, put those ideas into motion. And it's more of just about keeping up. We do still get a lot of lead gen. We've developed our website, which has been getting good good lead generation. Our signs, of course, are all over the place. And so between just having our own marketing, we get quite a bit of calls, and we just try to work those and then open houses and stuff like that.
And you have great video content now for the last like year or two, right? You've really stepped up your video presence, and it's good.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't think, I know everybody will have a different opinion. I don't think that social media really produces a whole lot of leads personally. I think it's more to appease clients that they think that you're doing everything you should. So it's kind of a somewhat of a lost art. It can make us look really good, but it doesn't necessarily get much done, in my opinion. But my son Trey is our media person. He's also, like I mentioned, everybody does a lot of things. He's also on our sales team, but he is also responsible for all the production for videos, photography, all that stuff. Just another way that I mentioned, we keep it in-house. We try not to outsource because photographers charge a lot of money. It's almost ridiculous what they want to charge each of us on a listing before you even know that it's sold.
Especially when you have that many listings, right? So knowing your numbers of like, when does it pencil out to bring things in-house?
And so just keeping that stuff in-house is extremely valuable to us. And he does our social media stuff as well, which is nice. And so it is very continuous at this point. Christian on our staff also does our website, which the website's really cool these days. And there's a lot of ways to for buyers to go in and see our inventory, or not just buyers, but even agents. Like we've used it a lot because of the affordable luxury line that we've had the last few years. Agents, they'll call and just say, I got a buyer 300,000 and under, and they want new. What do you have? We're able to go right into the website, run our own search without having to utilize RMLS, since they took away a lot of our search capabilities, which is kind of a tough thing. I don't really agree a lot with what RMLS has been doing lately. They're trying to basically hide a lot of information from us, even as brokers. But another conversation for that one. But our website does pull everything we've got, and it is a very easy tool to use. If you're looking, you can still draw your map areas, you can search your price points, but we have, something like 250 active listings on there right now at all different price points. And it's very easy to navigate if you've just got someone, especially a lower budget, because there's a lot of the affordable luxury stuff in the city available. And there's a lot of sellers that are motivated. So, although buyers might feel like, oh, rates are high, it's not the right time for affordability. It's like, test those listings, because there's a lot of people who want sales right now, and it's a great time to get out there and get a good deal on something.
Yeah, that's great. So if you have those clients, take a check. Yeah. Kevin.
Can you discuss the RMLS a little bit more?
Maybe in another visit, but they have
we have only one meeting with you a year, so
they
progressively take more and more data out of the search fields, so that it gets harder and harder to search information. They also limit the length of time you can go back to find stuff. And so if they're there for us and they're there and we're providing all the data, they should allow us to have access to it.
Yeah. Like wiping seller and buyer broker codes. That was a hard one, because that's how I used to filter for our own inventory. If somebody said, hey, we are looking for this, well, I can put his broker code in, everything. Now they're eliminating that because they don't want you to really know who's selling it, which I don't quite understand. So that's kind of why we had to develop the website in order to be able to, search our own inventory to send it out, because, it's surprising. Back before, I'd say in the last few years, we've seen a big change in buyers, entry-level buyers in the city, where you used to think, okay, they're shopping in North Portland, but you're starting to see they'll go anywhere for the deal. So you have to be able to kind of set your parameters wide, because you'll see a buyer in St. John's also looking down in Reed. So it's interesting to see kind of the shift where it's really not locationally driven, it's price and deal driven. So we've seen a lot of that I'd say in the last 4 or 5 years, which has been
Mhm.
quite interesting, where it's not a pocket
Yeah,
anymore.
that's insightful.
Yeah.
Right.
For finding your deals. Like, is there anything that stands out or any one or two things that stand out and how people are?
Which sector, like on the retail side?
You mean like it's more affordable? Like
You're all of the 500 homes you sell, like what are some of the things that stand out to you about how people are financing them? Is it 40% cash, or are they getting FHAs,
There
or?
has been a lot of cash. There has been a lot of private money purchases on the wholesale side, but on the retail,
3% down, home possible, home ready has been big. Based on affordability, just having no money down programs like USDA is nice. We don't get a lot of stuff in areas for USDA, but VA has been a good vehicle. And a lot of times, I mean, you might not know it, but VA has a lot of cool tools for vets where you can, and you guys can speak to this too, but if a vet has an auto loan or credit card debt, they can wrap it into their mortgage through their financing. So not only can they get zero money down and great rates, but they can also get all their consumer debt looped into it. And it really is a game changer on their monthly expenses. So if affordability is really an issue and you've got a VA buyer that can't quite get over the hump, I mean, that is a really neat tool that can help them create more affordability.
That's cool. Kelly, what is something else we haven't talked about that you think makes your team so successful? I know, sorry, that's it. Should we get on the spot?
No, I feel like we touched on most of the dynamic of it, but I think every day we genuinely are a family and we show up and we all respect each other and we all work hard for each other. I'm not necessarily working hard for myself. I'm working hard for my team and my clients. And I think our consistency is just there, and the trust factor that, if there's something to be done, we have 6 people who say, I can do it. So I just think, we have a good leader, and I think we all respect that, and we all hustle, that's for sure.
I'll just add to that by saying Kelly, for example, even if she's got the flu, she's worried about not coming in to support everybody and work. And that's how the whole team is. Like, it's not about what I do for myself. It's about, if I don't show up, these guys need me, so it's everybody is a team first player. And we've gotten really lucky to, it doesn't work out for everybody, but for the people that we've retained and that we have, it's definitely that team first mentality, which makes a significant difference.
It's very collaborative, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, we are so proud of you. We're excited to support you. And all of us will come see you at Realtor Day. And if you have clients, reach out to them. Anyone have any final questions before we wrap? Okay, big round of applause for Darryl and Kelly. We appreciate you guys so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you.